Hey guys, I'm Dupree, and today we will be going through some more Masse curve shots that you guys should really have down. And these always come up in games. There will always be an opportunity for a Masse. So I'm going to go through a couple different scenarios you could do in this case. In this case, maybe you could jump it, but the reason I would Masse this ball is because if you jump this, look how far your cue ball has to go. You have to jump it very far. It's a very far jump, and it's easy to mess up and just skim this 5 ball right here, or also hit this full and have our cue ball follow it into the pocket. That's also a threat with a shot like that. So there's 2 ways we can Masse this, and we're going to demonstrate both of them. Now the first way I think to Masse this ball is whatever direction is less around the 5. What I mean by that, if it's straight behind the 5, like if it's in line with 3-5 cue ball, then either way it really doesn't matter. But if the cue ball is more over here and it's only in line with half of the 5, that makes massing this way harder, but massing this way easier. Now it also helps to know what kind of spin you need on the cue ball in order to curve. And it's always going to be low English, so below center on the cue ball, and whatever direction you're curving. So if we were to go this way, in between the 4 and the 5, we would be curving here and then to the left. So demonstrating on this ball, we'd be hitting low left down here with a elevated cue. Now the more you're elevated, the more you will curve. And also, speed has a big deal. So let's say we are going to curve this way. Now if we just have a level cue and we hit low right, nothing is going to happen. It will not curve at all. Now if we elevate a ton and hit low right and hit the same speed, you see we're going to curve too much into that ball. So we do have to find a good little middle there. So maybe for this shot, a bit of elevation like that. Masse shots are difficult. I'm going to say that. They're one of the most difficult shots in pool. Whenever you see even the simplest one executed in a match, people will stand up and start clapping. It is a thing that is very, very, very hard to perform. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make it a bit harder of a curve. So we're going to take this, move it like this. So we're going to take 2 balls, and we're going to pretend that there's like a bunch of lined up balls like this. So we're going to have to elevate more to get more curve, because we're even over a full ball that we have to curve here, but it's still not as much as if we had to go around this direction. So this way will be better right now. We're still going to use low left English because we are spinning to the left. Just we're going to have to elevate our cue a lot more. If we use the elevation that we used just then, we're not going to get there. We're just going to curve around the edge of that 5, and we're not going to get to the correct spot in order to pocket that 3 ball. So here's a shot with a bit more elevation, which makes it more difficult. Okay, so now let's go back to the other direction. So just 1 blocker ball now. I think I had it set up like that. Now in this case, our cue ball is a little bit on this side of the 5. So there's a little gap between the edge of the cue ball and the edge of the 5 here. And it's easier to go around this side. It's also maybe easier to go around this side because we have this rail. Now, we're putting right spin on it now since we are curving to the right. And if there's right spin on our cue ball and we hit that rail, you see how it kind of carries it down towards the 3? You don't really have to hit exactly on the 3 in order to make it. You can hit that rail like that and still pocket that 3, which isn't a real chance coming from this way. So we usually want to go in a direction where there's a rail if it is an easier route to go. So we're trying to get the highest percentage, and in this situation, hitting low right is the highest percentage. So again, don't elevate at all, because that will not help. You will not curve, and you do need a tad bit of curve on this. You don't really need a lot, which brings up my next point. Don't over elevate on this, because again, you will foul, hit the 5 ball first, whichever play 9 ball, is not a legal move. So this one is fairly easy, so I'm going to go through the process with you. So we just really need to elevate a little bit, and the only thing we're worried about is scratching. And hitting it too thick. So we see there we didn't elevate enough, so we're going to have to adjust. So always before you try Masse shot in a match, I like to practice Masse on the table, just to see what it's like, because every table has different conditions. That is an easy Masse shot. I don't know how I missed it that first time. I just caught it a bit too lowly elevated and hit it a bit too soft. Which also brings up another thing with speed on a Masse shot. If you hit with a ton of elevation but hit too hard, you will not curve. If you hit with a ton of elevation and hit too soft, you will curve way too soon. So speed has really everything to do with it. So there's a lot of different variables, which is why Masse shots are so difficult. There is so many variables. Like felt is a variable. Your cue, the cleanliness of the cue ball, how clean the cue ball is, what ball set you're playing with, how the rails play on the table, what felt you're playing with. I don't know if I already said that. What chalk you're using. Some chalk spins the ball more than others, like Kamui spins it a ton. Maybe Brunswick doesn't spin it as much. But for this shot, we just hit low right. Again, around these diagonal lines right here is where we will always hit for those Masse shots. So low right when we are curving to the right. Masse shots also come in handy when you need to get position on a ball. So let's say we're playing 9 ball again. We're on the 3. We're trying to play the 4 next. Now, we want to end up closer to the 4 ball. Let's just say we want to end up closer to the 4 ball. And this shot is pretty straight in, and the balls are not that far away from each other. They're real close. So if we try to draw this ball back off the rail, we're going to hit the cue ball with our tip twice, which is a double hit and a foul. But if we elevate our cue and hit down with low English and just draw it back off this rail, maybe a little bit of left English too, but not too much. If we elevate like this, we're going to take away that thread. Just like that, and you see how we have a better position on the 4 ball. We can make it in either corner now. That's not really where we want it to be. We want to hit it a bit softer, so we can play into that corner. But there is one thing that I want to show you. So now we have a pretty much straight in shot on the 4 into the corner. So there is one thing that I do want to show you. When these 2 balls are really close or touching, and we have to Masse out of the situation, left and right spin is a big problem. We always want to try to avoid left and right spin. So this is set up to go straight into the pocket. Straight right here. So think about that. It's lined up to go straight right here. Now, if we use left spin, this 3 ball is going to have right spin on it, and it will go more over here. So I'm going to use left spin. And look at that. It's way over here. And now it's the exact opposite. If we use right spin, the ball will go more over here. Just like that. We made it in this side of the pocket where it was set to aim straight right here. So you see, whatever spin is on the cue ball, the opposite spin will be transferred to the object ball. So keep that in mind as you are shooting these drawback shots. Left spin on the cue ball will throw the object ball to the right, and right spin on the cue ball will throw the object ball to the left. So this can be helpful, and it cannot be helpful. If it's frozen and not exactly in the pocket, like if it's frozen to aim right here, then maybe you can use a bit of left spin to throw this ball to the right. It may be too much to throw. I mean, a little bit of right spin to throw it to the left, my bad. Just like that. See, it was lined up to not even be able to go in. Not in a million years would that go in without any spin. But if we use that right spin, we throw it to the left, which adds spin onto it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on this video down below. Also, if you want to be receive notifications when I upload a new video, you can click the subscribe button, then the bell icon right next to it. That will just send you an email and a notification saying that I've uploaded a new video. Thank you guys so much for 45,000 subscribers. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for that. I also want to introduce you guys to a product called the iCue training ball. Now this ball, you see I referenced to it multiple times, and what it does is when you hit, a little chalk mark is left on the face of the ball. So a little round chalk circle is left on the face of the ball, telling you exactly where you contacted the cue ball. Now this can help you correct many things with your aiming and your spin. So if you'd like to order the iCue, you can go down, click the little drop down arrow in the description of this video, and there should be a link there to iQclinic.com. That is where you can order the iCue. It ships to everywhere. It ships to everywhere, not just US only. It ships to everywhere for only a little bit over $20. So that is a real great tool to improve your game. Also check out my other sponsors, my apparel sponsor, Brutal Game Gear. They make these amazing like dry fit polo shirts. Not just for pool, you can just wear them. I really love those shirts. So you can check out Brutal Game Gear at brutalusa.com. Just click the drop down arrow. I also have, every video I have this deal on Amazon of a great billiard supply that I feel is a good deal for the price. So go and check that out too. So check out everything down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.